probably those branches will die as well. And so when we think about it today, we're going to do something different. We're going to give you some homework to do. Some work to do right now. And then you're going to have some homework. Because one of the things we do all the time is we talk to you, talk at you, whatever. We want you guys to be more involved because we're not live sitting in front of you. So you have a homework assignment. I keep saying homework because I'm forever giving people homework, right? Because the teacher in me wanted to be a teacher, so I'm always thinking about homework. So what I want you to do, if you can grab some paper, if you're at work, if you're at home, grab a piece of paper. And I want you to get a pen because we're going to ask you some questions today. We're going to make you be involved in your own finances. And so, Darlene, we're going to do some polling. We're going to ask you some questions, and we're going to talk about some things that could have affected how your tree was even planted from the beginning. And even if it was planted properly, what happened? Where did it die? And if it's glowing and it has fresh plants and blooms, then you know what, you're doing good. So let's talk about some things, Darlene. I think that's what she's trying to do, y'all.
Yes, and
it's not there, so that's okay. Because we want to
it's right here. Here's the first question.
So the first question, I need you guys to poll, send me an answer. What have you been taught as a child as it relates to money, and what have you taught your children, or have you taught your kids anything about money, and did your parents teach you, yes or no? I said I need you to check that answer so that we can see, because one of the things that's so important is that we don't always, sometimes we're not taught a thing. And so if we're not taught it, then it's impossible for us to sometimes know how to handle money. So in my case, my family always said, you only live once, so you might as well enjoy it. That was some inaccurate information. Because if I plan to live a long time, having that thought in mind, just spending as it come, caused that my tree for years to be dying on a regular and consistent basis because I wasn't planting enough. So you guys, I'm not sure.
Yes. So what's happening so far, out of the 4 people that have voted, come on everybody, let's vote. I'm sorry, if you're listening to us on the phone, please just write your answers down. So the polling question, and I apologize that we put up, the polling question says, have you taught your children or grandchildren any lessons surrounding money? Either yes or no. And if you have taught them any lessons surrounding money, are these lessons different than what your parents taught you? Either yes or no. So of the people that have responded, everyone says, yes, I have taught my children or grandchildren lessons surrounding money. And 3/4 of the people said the lessons that I taught my children are different than what my parents taught me.
Yes. And so that's important to understand, because the lessons that I was taught from, and sometimes a lesson isn't necessarily taught where they actually said it, but the parents always say, don't do what I do what I say. But that's not the case. We normally do what our parents do and not what they say. And so I watch what they do where, I was shop and I had clothes and I had all those things that were not important because that's what I saw. And if it was something different, they didn't care to share it. You see what I'm saying? So it's always important that we always, make sure you have enough to pay your bills and, your rent and food and clothes, and don't be asking folks for nothing. But I saw a lot of things that were not important for us. So that's truly good to see that sometimes we have to change what we've been taught so that we can leave something different for the next generation. That's good. How about you, darling? Because you are a parent. I don't have any kids, so I have taught my nieces and nephews some things when they were young. I didn't give them gifts. I opened up accounts for them at the bank, and I got all of them juvenile account, and every time they had a birthday or Christmas, darling, I added money to those accounts because they didn't need more clothes, any more toys. Their parents and everybody else was giving them that. So I opened up an account so that they can really understand the importance of banking, and I would actually take them into the bank and let them make their own deposits. I wasn't going to do it for them. I wanted them to learn what it felt like to go into the bank, even at 8 years old or 6 years old or 12, and make their own deposits. So now that you have Jordan, what have you taught her that maybe was the same, that you didn't think you was teaching it, and what have you maybe shifted as a result of your experiences as it relates to money?
Well, that's very interesting. When I was coming up, the way money was handled in my family, no one really talked about it. Not my mother. Well, my mother did not talk about it. My father passed away when I was 4. Now, from all of the information, my family members talking about him, specifically my uncle, he was very, very good with money. And he basically provided, gave my mother money, and my mother was working. And so without saying it, her philosophy was, what I picked up is, you're always going to have it, just, spend it. Nothing was discussed. But my great aunt, who raised my mother, so she was like my grandmother. She and her brother, my great uncle, she taught me to save. She was like, you have to save. You save money. You save money. Now, when I was young, my great aunt, she was in her late 50s, early 60s. So any money I got, whether it was a quarter, $1, she was like, had her hand out, give me some of that money. And I had that habit as when she was alive, but she passed away when I was 13. I was in the 7th grade and she passed away. And I had developed that habit of saving. But I'm going to tell you, after she passed away, because I no longer had that structure, I dropped that habit. I did not continue with it. Why? Because in my household, my mother was not talking about saving, and she was not saving. Not that I knew of. So what I've done with Jordan is I started instilling in her the same values and the same principles about saving. Hey, you have to save your money. And I use myself as well as an example. There have been very lean times where she knows, okay, I let her know, Pumpkin, that's not in the budget. We can't do it. And I tell her, and especially now that I've basically had to wipe out my savings again, helping with my mother, and I'm building that back up. And I'll tell her, this is why you need to save, because you never want to get to a point where your bank account looks like this. There's always going to be a rainy day, and you must have a rainy day fund. And I'm so proud of her because she worked on the summer and she saved her money. She has money that she will not touch. She has the money that's her college, vacation, and all of that. But that she still has $400 in her savings account. And if you ask her, do you have any money? She'll say, no, I don't have any money in my bank account.
And that's a lesson that we can all learn from anybody, because for real, in her mind, 400 is the lowest she wanted to go. So technically, she doesn't have any money because that's her no touch. And so because she can't touch it, truly, she does not have money. And I think what's also important too, okay, y'all, it's a confession. It's a confession. It's a confession. It's important that even if your best friend don't have good habits, sometimes we can't associate with people, but even if we associate with them, because I don't want me and Darlene to not be friends just because I was a shopaholic, but I am reformed. But that can also have an impact on us, because Darlene wasn't that bad with shopping. But I'm like, girl, you need to get the outfit. Girl, you need to go buy this. Girl, you need to get this, because that's who I was. I was shopping. At one point, I had clothes in 5 people's homes because I didn't have enough closet space in mine. I had all the closet in my space, and my husband had this one little, and I had upstairs storage in my mother's house, Darlene's house. The pastor house is crazy. So it's also important for us that even if the people we love, we got to be able to not, and this where this is really hard. Association is very, very powerful. So we have to be really grounded in what we know so that people don't infect us. Because just because their tree is rotten, you've seen in your yard 2 trees, one of them next to it, they talk, the birds sing on both of them, but this one here dead. They can still coexist, but they don't need to necessarily infect each other. So, I'm really proud today that I'm no longer infecting her, and that I'm probably even now a better example than I ever was before. But it's important to know sometimes you hang around people who have bad habits, and you have to recognize the habit, not let it infect you, and maybe you can begin to change them with their bad habits. Mm-hmm. So let's do this next question. We're going to add another polling question. And this one here is, she's going to bring it up. We kind of just want to know what keeps you up at night? What financial concerns cause you to lose sleep at night? So for yourself, I am concerned or think of often about what? Write that down on your paper.
Yeah, and share it with us in the chat box as well.
So for me, while you guys are, and look, don't be ashamed, we're in this thing together. For me, I was loaded down with debts. Like, I don't even want to tell you the number because it was real high, and I paid it all off and got back in that same place again. And so what kept me up at night, one was debt, and two was being an old broke lady.
Yes.
And not enough money. And so it's even, and not that your kids is going to do all great things, which we hope that they will, but being single with no kids, and I love my husband, but he's 15 years older, not that I expect him to die tomorrow, but you know, just based on what they say, men die faster, and he's 15 years older. So maybe I can assume he will go before me without bearing any illnesses. Who's going to take care of this old Rita? This one today who you looking at is vibrant, can work hard, can hustle, but that old one won't. And who's going to physically let her live with them? Who's going to feed her? And so those fears have been the things that have kept me up at night, and making sure that this debt load goes down. And that has been like this drive. So I've been really working on my debt load. Again, credit score booming, but I had a lot of debt. But over the last 6 months, would you say, Jenkins?
Yep.
6-7 months, I reduced my debt by like 70% because I've been grinding and really watching like what I tell you to do about your budget. My budget has been like really, really, really tight. So chat with us, y'all. Tell us what keeps you up at night, if anything, or maybe you say I sleep well because I prepared. Tell us what keeps you up, or who do you know, a friend or family member, you know them and you know that they worry all the time.
Right. Well, for me, Rita, it's not so much debt that keeps me up. I have debt, but what keeps me up at night is concerns about being old and broke and what effect that's going to have on my daughter and my health. I am so impacted right now by the situation, the health challenges and financial challenges that are going on with my mother, that it is just permeated in my mind because I have a 16-year-old daughter. When my daughter is my age, I'm going to be in my 80s. So my mother's health challenges started when I was in my 40s. So that keeps me up, making sure that I don't pass on the financial burden of caring for a parent that she feels responsible, although she will do it. And that's the thing, I know it's on her mind because she often tells me, well, I'm going to have a nurse for you and I'm going to make sure I get a good nurse because I'm going to be off. I don't know where in the world I'm going to be because she's going into the military. So I want to make sure that my decisions, my financial decisions, don't negatively impact her. So I'm constantly planning, putting plans in place, my long-term care, my critical care, my cancer policy, so that no matter what health event that may happen to me, I have the money that she can pay the nurses to oversee what's going on with me and not use her own money.
Absolutely. Now, Tawana, thank you for sharing. She said her what keeps her up at night is making sure that she have enough money to retire with and to maintain the same lifestyle that she has now when she retires. So she wants to be able to retire and not have to, what my grandmother, God let her rest in peace. But one of the things she always said to Tawana was, I can't afford this because I'm on a fixed income. I'm on a fixed income. And hear my heart. I love my grandmother, and she gave all of us a gift for Christmas. She had a lot of grandkids, but it came from the dollar store. We had that lotion that was watery, and I'm not putting it down, hear me, but because that's all she could afford. And so looking at her too is one of those things I worry about. Like, I don't want to be old, not have any money, and then everything is about money. Like everything I will want to do, well, I can't afford that because I'm on a fixed income. Well, I can't do this because I'm on a fixed income. I don't want that to be my resounding statement when I get old. So thank you, Tawana. Do anybody else want to share, or was any answers on the polls?
Yes, well, most of the people on the poll said blank keeps me up at night. And one of the things, when you give voice or write down what that thing is in your mind that you're turning over and over and over again, once you take it out of your mind and put it on paper or put it here in this chat so that you can see, because sometimes when we keep things in our head, it becomes a bigger issue. It becomes like a monster, when if we put it on paper and get it out, we can tackle it and put it in the box where it needs to be and catch a hold to it. Oftentimes, like, our debt may seem so insurmountable. How am I going to get this? You know, what is going on? I can't save for retirement because I'm making this little bit of money, or I got this mountain of debt over here. But if you write down, you know, my debt, that does keep me up, or retirement, or getting sick, my health keeps me up. Well, okay, well, let's look at that. How can we address that?
So I want you guys now to think of some thoughts. So here are some thoughts about that. And I want you to, if you have that as an issue, or if you ever have, or you know some children, debt always takes more than it gives. So my question to you is, what has debt given you? So what has debt given you? So if I think about me, when it was real bad, when I was just charging like crazy, I may have went out to eat in 1 year, but I still was paying for that meal maybe the next year. And you probably say, Reed, I may have paid off that meal, but because it was in that same card I was still paying, in a sense, I paid for a meal, ate the meal, can't remember the meal, have already digested them. There's nothing left from that meal. But a year later, I'm still paying for that meal. I bought some clothes. Where are those clothes? Are they upstairs? Which one is it? Do I even wear them?
Are they too tight?
Right, can I even fit them? So what has that given us? What has that? So ask yourself that question. And then Pam says, my concerns are retiring, unsure, and I have good health mentally, physically, and financially to have the quality of life. And so what this does, you guys, the writing, the only reason why we decided we want you guys to write, because we need to be proactive in our future. And so we need to start to make sure that our trees are planted properly. And one of the things that have destroyed many people, and Darlene, what she's going through even with her mother, is the whole thing of the bankruptcy, is having this debt. And so because we don't know the what ifs in life, we can't assume that everything is going to be fine and we're going to be in this position. So even for me and Darlene being self-employed, we can't always take for granted that we're going to have this, because if anything happens to us and we can't work, our whole world changes unless we have some plans in place and we're proactive. So that's the first thing. What has debt given you? The second thing, what has debt taken from you? Well, it's taken from me some serious sleep. From some people, it's taking out their hair. For some, it's taking away your health, because when you worry, you cause your heart to beat a little faster. And that fast beat could cause somebody like me some high blood pressure. Is that the stress? You know, so has it caused a divorce? Many people it's caused them a divorce, Darlene, because couples, the highest divorce rate, most of it is about money. It's about finance. So has it cost you your love? The one who you love him to death do you part, to good times and bad times. And them bad debts came and you guys couldn't handle it because there was no plan in place. And so your tree, the one that you came together, died. So ask those questions. What has it taken you? Then I'm going to read you something that is so powerful that I read. Understand that debt's power lies not in the bills, but in the sense of hopelessness that the bills release. So it ain't this paper on its own. It's not just a bill. But if you feel like there's no way out, that you just pay. See, that's how I felt with that $5,000 mortgage. You guys remember my mortgage was $4,753.51 in 2001. And I felt like I just paid that bill. How is it due again? You're talking about not sleeping, like working like a Hebrew slave. What did it steal? It stole all of my free time. It stole my relationships with my parents and my siblings and my nieces and nephews. When my dad died, it stole away my relationship with my father because I was so busy working to pay for bills. That the man that all these people were talking about, that Bob was this and Bob was this and he was that. And I'm like, I thought I knew my dad. Who was that guy that they were talking about? He was there. He was waiting for me. But because I was so busy trying to hustle to pay off debt and to pay off a house I could not afford, to pay a car I could not afford, I missed out on the relationship. And when I realized I had missed it, we were burying him that day. He was dead. So what has it taken from you?
Now, Rita, if I could just jump in real quick. And Pam, thank you so much for sharing. Pam says debt has given her discipline not to create the ceiling of debt that she experienced in the past.
Amen.
So now, when she uses her charge cards, she only charges what she can pay back quickly, or she doesn't use them at all. And I said to her, that's great. You have the proper perspective. Thank you again so much for sharing, because she learned from her past mistakes. And that is something to pass on to your children and grandchildren. And like with my daughter, I started programming her from an early age, because when you see stuff on TV and, it may have, I had a good heart when I was, telling her this, because I knew my experiences. So when I would see her getting excited about stuff, oh yeah, mommy, let's get this. I want to get that. Oh, look at this. Can we have that? And I said, Pumpkin, they're just trying to keep us broke. Oh no, you don't want to get that. Because when you get, I started breaking it down to her. So now I'll be like, when these celebrities and, singers, oh, well, they had this. I said, Pumpkin, they rich. We not. All they trying to do is get out a little bit of money. You want to get them our money? You don't want to get them your money. Now, this is how we want to do it. Those tennis shoes you want, once they've been out for 6 months to a year, then we'll get them, because guess what? They're going to be on sale, and let all of the other pack go pay all of their money, and we'll catch it on sale. Don't let them take our money. And that's how she thinks now. So when she sees stuff, she'll come and run it by me, and I'll tell her, girl, they just after your money. They trying to get in your pocket. So,
and it's important to know that, and to what Juana just said, that has caused me to be a hoarder, purchasing things. Whoo, girl, look, I'm trying not to have church up in here, but Pam, you done gave me an amen, and Tawana, you about to make me say hallelujah. I didn't need, and many times purchase the same things over and over again. It has taught me to only charge things that I can pay for when the bill is due. I no longer carry a balance on any of my credit cards. And you guys, that is so important, because now I only carry this one card, my Discover, because I get these points. And you guys have to excuse that bell, because that is my mama. Mama, that's her coming to replant some of my dead trees in here. So this thing about dying is real. So it is really important to understand your debt. And I'm going to go over something. So Darlene, just go to the next one. I'll be right back.
Yes, I will. That is fun. See, you all phone callers hanging there with us. I'm so glad you're on. But when you're on this webinar, you know you are going to have a laugh, a good time, because Rita and I, let me tell you, we always have something cooking. That is for sure.
You want to say hi, Mama? She ain't gonna want to say hi. She didn't want to be live on the show. She ain't gonna be live, y'all. So now, how do you handle your debt? So there's two ways to handle debt. One is the conventional way, and one is the unconventional way. So most people, you think of handling debt is bankruptcy, because sometimes it's easy just to, and so for some people, bankruptcy is really the only option, because it's too much and there's no way they're gonna get out of it. One, you can consolidate your loan. You gotta make sure though that you have the right one. Withdrawing from your 401k, your thrift saving to do it is not the best option. But if it's keeping you that much up at night and you can't breathe and your health is deteriorating, you got to determine which one is costing you the most. Stop giving to charities. Sometimes we give too much to others. Charity starts at home. For me, it's always going to give something to God. That is just because he gives me this money. He gives me this business. But maybe I can't give to everybody right now until I put my own oxygen mask on first. And then let the creditors charge off. Some of y'all was like, forget this. I don't care about it. Let them charge off. Now, back in the 90s when it was really bad for me, I didn't file bankruptcy. But when I called up all my bill collectors, said, look, I'm going to file bankruptcy. So if y'all don't want me to include y'all in y'all bankruptcy, can y'all offer me 20 cents on the dollar? Now, you know, I was trying it. Most people Darlene gave me was between 40 and 50 cents on the dollar. And I thought I was doing something because I paid off all those debts that way. Not to say I came back and did it twice again, but that's another whole story. That had a major, that also still affected my credit because it was considered on there as a reduction in pay. And then some of you may go get a part-time job, and that sounds great to go get a part-time job, but it goes back to the fact, have you neglected your kids now because you're working to pay off this debt? Something is always going to have to pay for what we do, something or someone. But what's unconventional is to tackle this debt one at a time. So Darlene and I is a program that I use to help with my credit, to help with debt, can help put you on the system if that's an issue for you. Control your spending. If you can't afford it, you can't afford it. Now, if my mom, which you guys know the story, it's my aunt who raised me, if she would get on the screen, she ain't gonna buy nothing that she can't afford to pay. And if it costs too much, she ain't gonna do it. And she's gonna wait for it to go on a sale. I didn't learn that lesson till it was later on in life, but I got it now. But control your spending. And do you really need it? Darlene, I have a friend named Tanya, said she bought some shoes. And then she had a wedding or something to go to. She went and bought the same shoes, and she came home and didn't realize she had the same shoes because we buy so much stuff and we don't even know what somebody, I think Pamela said that, or Tawana, we don't even know what we have. We keep buying the same thing over and over and over again. Help someone else to get out of debt. Maybe you sit down with your child. And then here's the one. Darlene got plastic charity.
Oh, Lord, that's supposed to be plastic surgery, y'all. Oh, my.
Surgery. And you probably said, Rita, what you mean have plastic surgery? Yeah, not on your face, not on your stomach. It'd be good to get some of these fat cells out of here. But really, we talking about plastic surgery on them credit card. Some of us need to just cut them up, bury them. Get out the fat, get rid of them. Plastic surgery on your debt. And financial empowerment team, we're here to help you be a part of your team. Sometimes we got to realize we can't do this on our own. And because we constantly try to do everything on our own, one of the things that my life coach taught me, I think you guys know her, Allison Manswell, she said, Rita, the mind that got you in this mess, you can't use that same mind to get you out of it. So sometimes we're using the same thought pattern and the same habits, trying to get out of that thought pattern and that habit. Sometimes you need someone else, and then you got to take what you have to create what you need. That goes back to what we help you with, help you to move money out your left pocket and put it into your right pocket. So we have some of these unconventional ways to help you move forward. And because our time is up, we're about to wrap this thing up, Darlene. We're done. Let's go to the last question. Last poll, do you have a financial strategist to help you navigate your financial destination? That's what we're talking about. Who's a part of your empowerment team? Do you have a financial strategist? And if so, put yes. And if you don't, write no. And what do you think? And then here we are. We're here to help you to be that financial strategist. But sometimes you may be a good person with money. You may be able to save money. You may be able to, you don't have debt. But maybe you need somebody to help you strategize on what you should do with all the money you got sitting in your bank account. I have a client right now, he has $400,000 sitting in the bank account. All of the money is earning less than 0.5%. Come on. The bank is getting really paid, and he's getting his interest on his $400,000 is nowhere even near eating up inflation. So what strategy do you have one? So what are they saying, Darlene?
5 of the people that are on here say yes, they do have a financial strategist that are helping them, and I'm sharing the results right here. You can see on the screen as well.
So it's some other ones who either on the line or either others who can't check it. So just make sure that you have someone who can actually help you, and a strategist that understands your job. So if you work for the government, there's a lot of financial people out here who don't understand FERS, who don't understand FAGLY, thrift saving. So you can't have people working as your financial strategist if they don't even understand what it is you have. How can they help you fill in the gaps? How can they help you strategize what you have if they don't even know what that is? And so I have you and your team, and we love you, Tawana.
Yes. And that's the thing. If you want to make Rita and I a part of your financial team, just reach out to us. That's what we're here for. But in just wrapping up, do something today for your future self that they will thank you for. So we thank you. You know, these are all of the services that Rita and I here at Affordable Benefit Solutions we offer, whether you need help planning your retirement, your resources, what to do with your money, how to, you know, putting together a plan, estate planning, how to get your assets over to your beneficiaries in the most tax efficient way, insurance services, credit and debt elimination. As Rita said, we have a program. If that is your issue, or you know someone that you're helping that's their issue, we do have a program that we can put you into to help you eliminate that debt and improve your credit. So what's up next? This is very important, you all, because next week, Rita and I will not be here. There will not be a Financial Fed Friday broadcast. Back on May the 18th. So you will not receive an email. We are taking some time off next week. One of our team members is getting married, and we're going to be going to her wedding out of the country. So no Fed Friday. We wanted to make sure you're not looking for the email like, what's going on? What's going on? We won't be here, so you won't get an email. Rita, were you going to say something?
Yeah, I was going to tell everybody. Sometimes it's hard to tell for folks our business. Sometimes you guys are shy. So even if you didn't put anything in the chat box, I hope that you were able to answer those questions for yourself. And if the answers that you wrote are not ones that you really wanted to look like in your future, as Darlene said, please reach out to us. Because one of the things that took me a long time is that I realized that I needed some mentors in every phase of my life, and I didn't get them until now. In this phase, I'm realizing that there's other people that can help me get to the next level in every level that I'm trying, whether it's personal, whether it's business, whether it's spiritual. There are people that are designed to help get you to that next place. And if finances is an issue, you just need to know what to do with everything that you have to best suit your needs and your family. That's what we do. We're bringing planning is bringing your future into the present so that you can do something about it now. Here's our information. You can contact us via our phone number, the website. You can also email us, and we thank you, as we always do. Thank you for being on here a little longer, but hopefully this was helpful. And just be prepared that every week going forward, we want you to be involved in your financial future. So have your pen and your paper, because I need you to start to have some aha moments. Oh, I need to adjust that. And then to be able to have some questions that you want to be able to ask us. And I'm done, because my mama, we got to replant these plants.
Okay, well, for our phone callers, I just want to give you, it's on the screen. Rita mentioned it's on the screen, but let me just give you our contact information. Our phone number where you can reach us is 301-577-6340, or you can email us at info, at your, Y-O-U-R, A as in affordable, B as in benefits, solutions, SOLUTIONS, That's info at yourabsolutionsinc.com. Thank you all so much. We look so forward to you being on the webinar with us, staying with us. Let us help chart your course. Here's our information again. So thank you. We'll see you back here, not next week, but on the 18th. Take care, everybody. Thank you so much for participating. Yes, and when you come on the 18th, spread the word. When you come on the 18th, bring 3 with you. See you on May the 18th. Take care. Stay cool today. It's going to be hot.
All right,
everybody.
Bye. Technology, something